Hi, everyone. Can you hear me okay? Yes, good. All right. Wow. Text a friend. Tag a friend. We have 8 on right now. Post something in the team page. We have 53 RSVPs, so. All right. Okay, guys, welcome to the team call. This is a fun topic for me, so I like this stuff. I'm kind of surprised to not see more people on right now because this is the kind of stuff that I enjoy talking about and learning about and exploring and studying and learning from other people what's working and like watching what others are doing. So I'm hoping this will be, like I say, always interactive, because I do want to hear from you guys what's working, and I'm definitely gonna pick on some of my leaders and show, like, I'm gonna be sharing my screen a little bit. I want to show some really great examples, but so real quick, any announcements that I want to bring up? There's a new coach office, which is a little bit buggy right now. Fortunately, they added a link to be able to access the old office. So that's good while they're figuring out whatever kinks they need to. But it looks like it's going to be much more user-friendly once they get all the bugs worked out. Let's just hope that's faster than, sooner than later. But like I said, if you haven't noticed, since they launched the new office, they added a link to view it the old way. So that's good. And we're having a new shopping website sometime later this fall. So that'll be a game changer for us. So any other announcements I want to? Oh, yes, Thursday night. You are welcome to invite any of your coach prospects to our coaching opportunity call. The link is in, I'm not sure if we shared it directly in the team page, but it's definitely in the Emerald event. There's an Emerald push party happening right now. But it's actually going to be at 4 p.m. and we did that for a reason. We're trying to also reach our UK audience. It's 9 p.m. at that time. And there is a little bit of a UK contingent coming on to Team Phoenix. They're already in the team page, some of them, and a lot of them are going through training, and they are ready to go, and it's really exciting. So get ready for a little British invasion next week as we enroll some coaches in the UK, and I'm actually going to be traveling to London, and I'll be meeting with a couple of them and attending the Beachbodies live event. So I'm really excited about that. What else do we want to chat about? Oh, just I have not created the event. I'll do that tonight, maybe. But there is going to be a diamond push starting next Monday. So whether you're going to be involved in that, or you have people on your team, be sure to get in on it. I'm going to create an event, and it's going to happen within the event. Right now, congratulations to any of you or your teammates who are part of the Emerald Push Party. That's a 10-day thing. They're putting in $10, splitting a pot. But for the Diamond Push, $25 goes into the pot and you split it. So we've had people win hundreds of dollars. Both times we've done this, we've had coaches earn hundreds of dollars. So because people go for it. And then don't meet it, and those few who really do push and take advantage of the training crush. So I'm really excited to do that. Okay, let's go ahead and get into some content. Guys, I'll probably, like I said, pick on some of you leaders sometimes. I might even be like screen sharing and showing pages, and inviting anybody to chime in on a topic, because here's what we're talking today about is a social media refresh. And why I called it that is because social media does have shifts, and a lot of the things that maybe some of us were trained to do and what worked for us in the beginning don't work as well, and culture changes. And so social media has to change as culture changes. And so I think it's a really good conversation to have, to talk about those shifts and how we can kind of stay ahead of the game. And I'm learning it at the same time as everybody else. So it's not like I have any leg up on anybody to know it, except that I use social media religiously. And I work my business so religiously that I'm learning as I go. And I am a perpetual student of it. I have no qualms about reaching out to, when a new platform is around, I have no qualms about going around and messing around with it and downloading Snapchat when it, I didn't know what I was doing, but I just tried it. Periscope came around. I didn't care. Just try it. I just messed around. You will learn so much that way. And same with Instagram stories and everything. I have no problem just sucking. The more you suck, the better you get better, the faster you get better. You just learn what works, and you actually are on those platforms and you're watching what other people are doing. What's effective and what you like to consume on those platforms tells you what people might like. But if you're just like, oh, I'm afraid of it and don't even touch it, how will you ever know? Now, here's my disclaimer. For those of you who are newer, and I don't see a couple of new faces, but for those of you, this will be recorded, obviously. And I know that a lot of our UK friends, they're going to be catching this recording because they're sleeping right now. And this will be all new to them. I want to caution you against trying to figure out a whole bunch of platforms. If you are newer, you need to stick to one. Most people, it's going to be Facebook, but I am having people come in now that they don't even have Facebook accounts, or they rarely use it. And so Instagram is great if that's where they're comfortable. Pick one and learn it and know it. That's where you want to hang, okay? You want to stay there. But once you're getting really comfortable with using that platform and your warm market has really, you've kind of gotten through it, or, you feel pretty comfortable in picking up something new, I want to talk about what you might do. Those different options and some advantages to them, and a little bit of like a Facebook page 101, Facebook ads, very 101, because we don't have time, honestly, for that. I mean, I'd love to train on that, but it's just we don't have time for that. But I want to introduce some ideas that might make you excited about going out and seeking training on those, if that's the direction that's appropriate for you right now. So coming on this call, guys, literally, I want you to don't be overwhelmed by all these different things you could be doing, okay? You really can't go there. But I know a lot of you have been using Facebook a lot and you're wanting to learn more. And so I want to touch on those things. And again, guys, if you have any insights, or I want you to chime in here. So I want to talk about, what's still working, what is some best practices that just have not, they're classic, what shifts we might be noticing, and what's new, what's not working anymore, and what's kind of new things that are working, and then, like I said, introduce a couple platforms: Instagram if you're not using it effectively, Facebook ads, Messenger, or what is it called? Messenger Story, Messenger Day. I don't know what they're calling it. The Facebook stories, and then Instagram stories. Anybody here use Twitter? Because we're not talking about that. I don't think anyone uses Twitter, but it's still actually a lot of coaches actually do use it with success. It's just not something I consume, so I wouldn't think. So, I mean, let me just say that whatever is a platform you would consume is the most appropriate for you. So like I have, a college student coming that is on my team. She's on Instagram. She's not messing around much with Facebook. She uses it a little bit. But, stay there. Your demographic is going to be there. And a lot of people gave me a hard time with Snapchat because it's it's for the kids. Well, it's not anymore. The demographic that is fastest growing on Snapchat is the 35 to something, I don't know what it is, whatever the range is, that people are consuming it. And we're going to talk about why a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to talk about what's still working, and I'm sure I'm going to be missing something, so I want some people to chime in. But here is what is still working and is always going to work. Number one, we have to be providing value. I think we get so caught up in, what is my social media strategy, or what should I be posting? We get so overly concerned with it that we overanalyze it. If you ever get kind of like paralyzed by social media, you just want to provide value. Nobody's coming on Facebook to be marketed to. No one is looking to buy something when they get on Facebook. They're looking to be entertained, really, to be engaged. So that is like the bottom line, is you want to be providing value. Who was it that says, I'm not sure, lots of coaches say it, but like the so what? Just throw something up there, so what? What do you want them to get out of it? So think about that when you're putting something on social media. A couple basics, because some of you are going to be newer. I don't want to do a whole like social media 101, but just some things. Make sure that your profile is, your profile picture is your face smiling and happy, not your children, not, a family photo. You want to make sure that you're smiling in a camera. Some people will do like their babies, or they'll do like a before after of them, but someone wants to engage with your face. They need to see that there's a real human being. Something that I really discourage, and some of you I think have this on your profile, and you can disagree with me. I do not like putting independent teen Beachbody coach in my bio. I think people already want to say, oh no, I don't think people want to see that. I think they already feel, they're already afraid to be marketed to from you. And so I can show you some examples of some great ones, and I'm going to do that. What else? Being original. This is what's still working, is not just sharing other people's content. OPC, as Mari Smith calls it, Facebook, what is she? Facebook Queen of Facebook, they call her. Putting some commentary if you are going to with it. For example, I shared some meme today, but I put some funny content with it that was personal to me. But when you can, sometimes you can take that content, repurpose it with a more personal image. Pitching to your niche is always going to work. Being really deliberate about who your audience is. Hope you're scheduling your social media, like especially like challenge groups and stuff. That's still working, and I hope that you are leveraging those tools. Consistency. That's really important. This is an overview, obviously, and video. Video is not just still working, it is really working. So this is one that is like a new shift. Okay, so let's kind of go into that. Here's some of the shit that I've noticed, and I want people to chime in here because, again, I'm learning a lot. I'm learning this at the same time many of you are. Those of you who've been using social media for your business. I'm no expert any more than you are, except that I'm using it a lot. So this is where I'm going to invite some conversation. I want to hear from you what you're noticing. But something that I know, like I research a little bit of the social media, like blogs. Mark Zuckerberg on Facebook, and now they own Instagram. He is going in the direction of making a video king. Like they want it to be like all video, honestly. So they will prioritize that content over anything because they're trying to make that a thing. The algorithms favor what they want them to favor. So they set it up so that that's gonna get in front of more eyeballs. So if you're not using video, now that is something that you're gonna wanna consider more, like especially live video, and videos that are not from YouTube. We're gonna be posting those organically from our phone or whatever. What else was I gonna say? Oh, using, what is the word? What's the word? It's something native. So for example, those cute little, when you can do a short post, obviously Facebook is favoring those short posts for some reason. And it gives you the little background you can choose. There's a reason. Have you noticed when you use those, how much more traction you're getting? I'm getting like crazy traction on those little silly things. And I'm seeing some coaches use it to invite to groups, and it's getting serious traction. So think about that. When Facebook is introducing something, it's because it wants you to use it, and so it's going to favor you. So Messenger Day, it's probably going to make you higher in news feeds if you're actually using Facebook stories. I'm not good at this because I really like other ones. Like I like Snapchat more and I like Instagram stories more. But Facebook is going to like reward you for using its things. It's going to reward you for scheduling through Facebook and not through third-party tools. Just kind of consider that. Shifts that, who was at Summit and heard Charlene talk about curiosity marketing? Yeah, so that is the direction that, I mean, I'm trying to head, and it's, you know, it's not natural, but I'm seeing a lot of you do it effectively. I'm like watching some of your posts, and if you're not sure what curiosity marketing is, I think it's in one of the newsletters. I shared it as a Rockstar call. I'll have to pull it up. But basically she's saying we don't want to just like, we want to make people ask questions. We don't want to tell them, we don't want to mention the name of the program that we're doing. We don't want to say my quarter force workout today, you know, they'll say my martial arts workout today. You want people to ask questions. You want them to comment and engage. You want them in your inbox. If we tell them too much, then there's no reason for them to engage with us, but we make them curious. I was gonna pull out a whole lot of examples of all these things, but I figured I'm just gonna go through some feeds and kind of show you some really great examples of it. But I think Kristen Ray, is she here? I saw something she did today. Oh, she referenced her gentle detox today. My gentle detox on blah, 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 blah. And I was like, she could have said the ultimate reset, which is what we used to do. And that used to be the way. But now she said my gentle detox, and that makes someone like, well, what detox are you doing? And now she has a conversation to start. What other shifts? Or someone chime in here with who is using curiosity marketing well, or another shift they're noticing in social media. I'm looking at some of your faces who are doing great with this, so I'll share a shift and I'll call out Katie Arhan on this. Something that I've noticed, you know, those cute little graphics that we do when we want to promote a free group or a paid group. And I'm not good at this. This is one area that I'm like I'm so old school still because being stubborn, and it's still working for me at some level, but I know that's not working for people who aren't as established as me. Because I'm established and people know to expect it from me, I think I'm still having some success with it. But I think for newer coaches coming in, these graphics aren't, I mean, I'm not saying to not do them. I'm just saying I'm seeing more casual, subtle invitations like the little short invitation. Like Katie was doing a skinny jeans one. Is that what it was, Katie? It was just a really cute picture of her like in skinny jeans. But it captures your attention. When you see those little ads, free clean eating group, you know you're being marketed to, you know, and that's a bad thing because people join our free groups when they're marketed to, but it was a cute picture that made me stop and want to see what she was doing. And that is the kind of thing that I see working so much better for coaches who don't, you know, and obviously Kay's very established and could put something out, people know what she does, but like I'm much more inclined to stop my scroll when I see that than some words saying join here. So think about how you can invite people into your world without being so overt, and catch their attention with, you know, in different ways rather than, you know, marketing to them. Being careful to not use words, and this is hard for me and I'm not saying I'm good at it, to not use words like challenge group or terminology that only Beachbody coaches use and know. And we just kind of think, well, they've been following me, they know what I'm talking about. We have to be careful about that. And sometimes they might be averse to those things because they've been so marketed to, and maybe not by you, but by other coaches who are spammy on social media. We have to battle that. We have to battle what others are doing in network marketing and even coaching. We have to fight that some of them really are obnoxious and really are dropping them into groups all the time that they don't want to be added to, that are in their inbox when they haven't even scrolled their feed and found out anything about them. A lot of network marketing people are doing that. And so we have to really counter that by being, yes, someone's chiming in. Or maybe they just didn't mute themselves, and I don't know. So I want to be a light to those people of not being so spammy. And so the more that I think that we provide all value, the more they're going to pay attention to us and realize we're not like those people. Any shifts? Let me hear from some of my leaders or people who've been using social media as a coach for a while. Maybe you want to share with me something that you think is working more for you now, what maybe something that was working for you then, but that's not now. And so this is a shift that you've noticed. Does anyone have any examples that they'd like to share?
I'm pretty new to Instagram. I've been focusing on Facebook for years and years, but I couldn't believe that when I posted a video, it wasn't a fabulous video. It was a little like dark video of me working out in my living room. I can't believe how many views it got, considering my following is not that great. So I was really surprised by that.
Okay. So you think Instagram is working for you more than you expected?
Yeah, and I think the video on Instagram was just, I just couldn't believe the difference. I mean, my following is growing slowly, but that helped it grow fast. Like in 1 week, I got a lot more followers. So I agree with your video thing.
Yes. And Sue asks, what hashtags did you use on IG?
Oh, I could share it with the group. I have like a whole list of them that in case nobody does this, because I just started doing this recently. I learned it at our leadership retreat, that you like create all of your hashtags you want and then save them in notes so you can just copy and paste them. I was recreating them every time because I didn't know. So in case you don't know, do that. So I was using things like that describe me, right? Like fit mom of 4, healthy, just things that, and then I would add things at the end that were related to the post. So I have my standard group, and then I have things that, like, now I'm doing the 21-day ultimate reset. So I'm adding in stuff like detox, cleanse, etc.
Right. Well, we'll talk a little bit about that. And there's so many, we could go so deep into all these things. We just can't, but I want to start getting you thinking about it so that if you are excited to learn about Instagram, that you can start. And really, guys, like, you can go on YouTube and search, and like so many coaches have trained on Instagram, but you can just go learn Instagram just on Google. Like, I learned a lot just going to Google Instagram training. It doesn't have to be coach related, coaching related. There's so much to be learned, but just by going this direction. So that's why I'm not going to, and honestly, like, I'm not an expert on Instagram by any means, but I want to start introducing some things that I think that are scary for some people. And I avoided Instagram for so long. I just assumed it was going to be overwhelming and too annoying to learn. And I'm having so much fun with it. I just, decided, because here's another shift that I've noticed. People are moving off of Facebook. Now, Facebook is still king, and I've been doing some research just to I've been doing a little background. Facebook is still king. But there are people moving from Facebook and not consuming it enough, or as much as they were. So I want to be present on as many platforms as possible. And I want to do it in a way that's not going to be taking much more of my time. So guys, I legit will post the same exact post with the same exact text at the same exact time, well, seconds apart, on my Facebook page, my Facebook, and maybe some of you even noticed that. Do you care? Do I annoy you? Maybe I do, because I don't know, but I don't think people care. People don't care. People don't see me on all platforms. And even people who I have on Facebook, they'll have on Facebook and Instagram, they may not see it on one platform, but they'll see it on the other. But I don't think people hardly notice that I do that, unless you're somebody who just happens to be like following me for my like super fans. do. But they don't care because they like me a lot. And you guys might be following me for, just to like see what I'm doing. And so you might notice it more, but most people, they don't care. They hardly notice. And something, guys, that you can do on, and this is, I'm not taking any more time to do it. It's like seconds, really. It just makes so much sense. And especially because you can invite every person that you're a Facebook friend with from Instagram, from Facebook on Instagram. So there's an option to invite them all. So that's a really great way to make sure you're getting in front of these people. These are people who already, they're not even new followers. I mean, you're going to want to build your following on Instagram, but why not? Just because someone has a Facebook account, they may not be consuming it that much anymore. You know what I mean? And vice versa. And so if I can like get in front of them, I'm more likely to get in front of them by just posting, why not? So I think even just starting there by posting the same content, and learning it as you go, and kind of doubling your chance at getting your stuff in front of their eyeballs, why not? Chelsea says, I do the same. I have a completely different followers on Instagram, and a lot of them never see my Facebook posts if they're friends. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and my audiences are pretty different too. And occasionally the content that I'll post will differ, but in general, I'm covering all my bases because there's no reason not to. So what is different now is the new thing is vicarious experience. Snapchat, Messenger Day, and Insta Stories or Instagram Stories, whatever you want to call them. That is becoming, that is a shift because, well, it's video, number one. But it's relatable. People relate to you. It's like, I've explained the difference is like, you standing on my front porch is kind of like, is like Instagram. Facebook is a little bit more like you're more in my world, like you're on like my foyer, but like Snapchat or Instagram stories, you're up in my kitchen where there's like crumbs and dirty dishes, like we're friends, we're tight, like we're cool. That's what people feel like when they're in those environments, and that's why they're really effective. And now I feel like I've had such leaps and bounds in using Instagram stories, and I thought I hated Instagram, but Instagram stories is allowing me to reach people so much better than I am even on my Facebook account. It's crazy. It's crazy. People are seemingly much more open to conversation there. Maybe they're over marketed to on Facebook. I don't know. Can anyone speak to this? That they've had that same experience, who has been using Instagram and
I do, or I have had the same experience. I get tons of messages on my stories every day. So because my trouble with Instagram is I always feel really awkward getting into a conversation with people over there for whatever reason. Stories has made it a lot easier because people will comment on it. So I'm actually getting a lot more traction, and I could share literally the same picture. I haven't reached out to the people that watch my stories because I've really only started getting consistent with it in the last couple weeks. But I'll I shared the zucchini cashew soup. Like I did a picture of it one day and I got a lot of likes on it, whatever. But then I did a video of I took a picture of my blender and I videoed it blending. And then I literally put the ingredients in it, over it. And then I got so many messages off of that. And same thing with my kids drinking Daily Sunshine. That's another huge thing. That's a hit. But yeah, I think stories, obviously you still have to be posting an Instagram or it's kind of weird, but I post a lot more stories, and I try to maybe post once a day on Instagram, but I'll do a lot more story stuff. And then as I posted comments, you can save it and then literally stick it in your My Day, and it shows up like a My Day, and I'm getting more messages on Facebook because of My Day. I had someone message me today about doing the reset. They're interested in whatever detox I'm doing because of sharing stuff over. So
yeah. So if you didn't catch that, she's repurposing it. She's not like, oh my gosh, now I'm managing 5 different platforms. She's just using the same thing, and she's just putting it over to like her My Day, which is, if you don't know what we're talking about, it's the Messenger, Facebook Messenger story thing. I think it's it's confusing. I'll do the same thing with Snapchat. I'll just put them all in different. I'm having a hard time managing all of them. But when I was just doing like 2 of them, I was just repurposing it. Now that I'm doing 3, I'm just like having to pick because I'm not going to be doing a lot, all of it. I was really heavily on Snapchat. And let me tell you why Snapchat, I still think has value, even though like I'm not doing great with it now. Because people are like, well, I don't understand why I would do that. I can't grow my following on Snapchat. If you don't know Snapchat, it has to be somebody has expressly decided to follow you. You can't find followers. Like Instagram, people can find you. Like I have to say, I want to follow Lauren. The reason that was working for me really well, and it still does at some level, is because it helps me to maintain relationships. And I think we think way too much about acquisition when it comes to social media and not about retention. And we have to be really seriously thinking about that. It's not just how do I attract customers? How do I attract new followers? We have to be taking care of the current people who are in our world. And that is your HD customers, those people who already have been following you, but they may not see you on Facebook anymore because they're not using it that much, but they might see you on Snapchat. It's much more intimate than any of those because they know that it's only friends who have chosen to follow you. My coaches can see into my life in a different way, and that they see the legitimacy, the credibility. There is a connection. And so we're talking a lot about the attraction with social media, but I want you to think about retention too. I want you to think about who you're taking care of, your current followers, your existing customers, previous customers, the coaches who are in your charge. Like you want them to feel connected to you. You want them to see value. You want to provide value to those people. You want to be sharing your Shakeology. You'll be sharing nutrition. So don't discount some of these things that you just think, well, I'm not going to get new people that way. Well, there are people that I hope that you're still trying to provide value to in your circle of influence. I am, Molly, when it comes to stories, I am actually seeing who's looking at my stories, and I'm seeing names that come up a lot. They may not message me, but for some reason they keep looking at my stuff. And so I'll intentionally engage with their feed to show them, hey, I see you, but I think you could definitely do that. I know so many people they struggle with messaging people that are liking their Facebook posts, and they're just trying to get conversations going. Start leveraging Instagram, and you'll see that people are much more inclined to reach out to you. If you start using Facebook, if you start using Insta stories, they might comment to you, but you start going through people's Insta stories and commenting to them. I think they just feel much more comfortable. I don't know what it is, but I literally, like, I'm kind of embarrassed that I have people that I haven't gotten to. I have so many people who like comment on stories, on Insta stories, and I'm probably losing customers because I just haven't, taken the time, haven't been able to respond to, get or go deeper into the conversation that I really could. So this is a shift that I think is really valuable. I mean, I'm going to share about Facebook ads and Facebook pages, and I think there's value in learning about it, but I really think Instagram and Insta stories is something that if you're established on social media now, it's worth a look. If you're a newer coach, and you're just learning one thing, just stay there, stay in your lane, get through your, you still haven't like really reached out to your entire warm market. You may not need to be worrying too much with learning too much. Also something that Facebook is doing, and you've probably noticed this a little bit, but Mark Zuckerberg, he announced this months ago, how he really wants people more connected in groups and interest groups, which is good for us since we do use Facebook groups so seriously. So I want to throw this out there to some of you newer coaches, because I do feel like it's a little bit harder to get people to see all your stuff on Facebook. I have some newer coaches doing this with success, fitness communities, creating Facebook groups for your customers, for your contacts who are interested in fitness. And like, basically you can post the same stuff on your page in that group, but you know that the people in there are expressly interested in their fitness journey. So it's kind of like a free group, but not really, because you're not actually going to be taking them through like a challenge. It's just a fit community. And so I have a girl who's grown, and she's only been a coach for a few months, but she just keeps it steadily growing. And it's got like 400 some people in there. And I like this option for newer coaches, because with a Facebook page, while there's a lot of benefit to a Facebook page, to really leverage a Facebook page, you need to be putting ads behind it. And as a newer coach, it's just not realistic to be investing in ads. So, but it is for those of you who are starting to make an income. Having a Facebook page really is a great idea. And we can talk a little bit about that. But I don't want to freak anybody out about like going to Facebook page, because like I said, the traction that you get on that is like so tiny compared to your profile. So quickly, the benefits of a Facebook page. I wrote down my notes, but you have unlimited followers. You can only have 5,000 on Facebook, but so that's not, you might think you'll never reach that. I thought I never would. I think I just did this year, but it can be as many. It can be however many. Insights, there's analytics. You can see like when the times of day you're posting works best. What demographic, like age demographic is following. I mean, like you can get a lot of insight into who's following you and when and where. So when you should post things, and who you're attracting and at what times. And you can target people. That's the main reason, is I can decide who I want to see my stuff. So I'm just going to say that much. I'm not going to go too deep into Facebook pages, but let's see. I invite people to mine. It's a specific community though for mine, in my niche, in an evergreen group. So yes, attached to her page. Okay, cool. So I really like that for Facebook, for coaches. That is a shift that I'm seeing is much. It's easier for you to get through the noise. I think for someone who is kind of a newer coach. Okay. And if anybody has any specific questions on Facebook ads or Facebook pages, I'll talk. I just don't want to like go too deep, because it's a more specialized content that not everybody needs to sit here and listen to if they're not on that page yet. Oh, this is totally tiny, but this is totally tiny. When you're sharing links on Facebook, when you're sharing like group links and any kind of Facebook link on Facebook, like a link to an event or whatever, change the www to an m.facebook.com. People are almost like predominantly consuming Facebook on a mobile. And when you use the www, it gives them the browser view. And it's harder to actually, this sounds like some of you are looking at me like, what you're talking about. Have you ever like clicked a link to an event and it's like not quite the app view, and it's kind of annoying? It's harder to actually navigate. That's because you're using the www, the link that you're clicking. When you make it it makes it so much easier for people to join groups, join events, whatever. Just test it out. When we get off, then you'll see what I mean. So Molly says, after you run an ad, do you invite them to like your page and request it? Yes. So if you're running an ad to get followers to your page, I absolutely send them a message introducing myself or whatever. I'll say, thanks for following me. Are you on a fitness journey? Something like that. So every person that likes my page, and hopefully they'll respond to me. Sometimes they do. And if they look like somebody I really might engage with, I will like them on Facebook, follow them on Facebook. So if I look at them and I'm like, this is my kind of girl. Like, I think we hit it off. Then I'm going to friend request them. I did when I was growing my page more. Yeah, it just depends on the person. For me, if I think that will be kind of cool. Yeah. Here's my quick tip on Facebook ads for those of you who are trying to mess around with them. And I encourage you to, if you do have an income that you want to set aside a small budget for ads, which is what I did. I kept it really small in the beginning. This is what I learned, and this is what doubled I went from 13,000 followers to 26 or 7 this year. I doubled just this year because I use a lot of Facebook ads trainings from Josh Coates, and I hear great things about Jesse Regan. I tried one of his first, and I didn't jive with him, but I hear a lot of great things. People have success with his stuff. I had a lot of success with Josh's stuff. I think there's not much difference, honestly. I think they're just shared differently. Yeah, Lauren says it's amazing. I can't speak to it. I just didn't jive with him long enough to want to learn more. But so the one thing that I changed around that really made a huge difference is I was promoting my call to actions to a targeted audience of people who are most like me. So this is a cool thing when you're doing ads. You can say, I want moms, I want them this age, I want them to like diapers.com. You can choose what pages that they like, or in this is how you get this like avatar. I was boosting or promoting these pages, these ads to this targeted audience, but these are cold market. And I was spending money and I was getting people to respond, but they don't buy anything. They don't even talk to you. So I was getting people who seemed to, it was collecting. I was like, this is working. Awesome. People like me. They're not doing anything. They don't respond to your messages, or even when they do, they're like, oh, it costs money. And next thing you know, you don't have a conversation going anywhere. They're just gone. So the key was to just, obviously provide a lot of value on my page and boost my best posts to my current audience to make sure that people were seeing my best content. Because like I said before, Facebook wants you to spend money when you have a business page. So they're not going to make it easy for that content to get in front of people. Your Facebook profile is going to have much more traction. That's why I say don't even mess around with pages until you've gotten through your warm market. So they want to see the money, put it towards providing more value to your current customers or current contacts. That's where to put the best part of your money. Then I am afforded permission to do a call to action to just my page. Does that make sense? So I wasted so much money putting out call to actions to people who don't even care about me. They have no idea why they should work with me. But my people who are already following me and were actually getting my content and were actually getting value from me, were actually connecting with me, related to me, because I actually got to see it. When I do a call to action to my like page, because you get to choose where it goes to, so it just goes to their eyeballs. I pay to get in front of more of their eyeballs. That's where I'm getting that's where I'm getting challengers. So that was a huge shift for me, and where I was targeting my money. Now the use of ads and all that, again, that's a lot more complex, and I don't think it's appropriate for most people at this point. Just I can send you a training if you ask. Okay, let's chat about Instagram, and this is where I'd love to have people who are using it chime in, because I don't know all by any means. Stephanie mentioned using hashtags. This is really, this is a really important to be pitched to your niche. So choose hashtags that are, aligned with you. Save them in your notes section. So I found a really cool tip, guys, today. So you thought that was earth shattering, Stephanie? I found this tip today. I had no idea. So evidently, you can go to your keyboard and on your phone and do a text replacement. I'm looking at this image that I found. You can go to the keyboard on your phone, go to text replacement. You can take however many tags files you have. So I know in some Instagram trainings, they tell you to have a few different sections of tags. What's the word I'm looking for? Groups of tags, groups. So, you know, one might be like more towards your like fitnessy stuff. One might be more towards your like mom stuff, whatever. Like not using the same 30 hashtags, kind of all just different parts of your life. That's, you know, a thing that some people train. So you can legit take these groups and make them a text replacement. And you can just, so if I type the phrase, it's like a shortcut. So instead of you having to like go to your notes app and copy paste it, and then, it's like a shortcut. You just change it in your keyboard to some kind of like text replacement phrase. Like I can be like, I don't know, whatever. I mean, it's just like 2 letters. I gotta mess around with it, but like, that blew my mind. Anyway, that is one of the things that takes the longest time for people on Instagram, which is why they are a little bit afraid of it, afraid of committing to it, because it seems like it's going to be a lot of work. So if you just kind of take that out of the mix, then, you know, it's one less thing. Anyway, I thought that was a fun little tip. So, who wants to share? I don't want to keep talking. I want someone else to talk about it that's using Instagram and having success. Katie, do you want to talk a little bit about how some people make use of having a pretty feed, like how you do, like you maybe using filters and, you know, like the text image? You want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
On my phone, my computer was going really slow. Okay, so actually this kind of was what made me make my Instagram pretty, and it's kind of a tip that you can use across the board with your social media. I study certain coaches. I'm attracted to certain coaches, meaning like I actually like seek them out. So I only follow like 2 or 3 like top coaches. And I kind of like did like an audit on their page and tried to figure out why I like their pages and like what jumped out. And then I copy not what they're saying and doing word for word, but I kind of look at what they're doing and try to bring it over to mine, because for some reason I'm attracted to certain coaches that other coaches aren't attracted to, and blah, blah, blah. So for my Instagram, I decided to go with like use a specific filter. I tend to use like 1 or 2 filters, and mine tend to be like brightly colored. There are other Instagrams that are like more what's the word, like sort of mid colors or whatever. And then I do 2 pictures, and then I do like a black and white quote. Sometimes, you know, there's another sort of look that I like where it has like a white box around the picture. I mean, you just kind of study it, and maybe it doesn't matter to you. And I'm not saying I don't like people's Instagrams that don't have this, but I was attracted to certain coaches that had this already. So I'm like, I know I'm going to give it a shot. I also feel like, you know, on Instagram, you know, it's not a competition, but you're kind of competing. Like people, you know, if you're trying to attract people that you don't know, you have like a couple seconds where they're going to decide if they're going to follow you or not. And that's exactly what, you know, I do when I, you know, again, what do? I always am reflecting on what I'm doing. I think it's the teacher in me from years ago when we were constantly forced to reflect on everything. You know, I look at somebody's feed and I'm deciding literally in 3 to 5 seconds, are they worth a follower or not? And, you know, that's sort of, you know, how I decide. So I look at people's feeds and decide what I'm attracted to, and I kind of take that with me to Facebook, Instagram, the filter. Another thing I was going to say is I stockpile photos. So, I mean, you can see, I'm showing you my feed. It's funny to look at it on here. You know, like when we were at the beach this summer, there's the skinny jean one. And it's funny that you bring that one up, because I had posted about the skinny jean group the week before with an ad that I had made that I thought was super cute, and I had gotten 0 comments. Like literally, I was like, oh my God, no one's interested. And then I posted this like last minute. I think we were at the retreat in Virginia, and this one, I mean, it got a lot more on Facebook than it did on here, but it got a lot more. But, you know, I stockpile photos, and it takes there's some thought behind them. You know, my husband is really good. I mean, I'll ask him and he'll take like 100 photos for me. Like I have certain places at my house that have like a good background, like, you know, the green background you often see with, I'll be with my kids. The beach, I was at the beach this summer, like we took hundreds of photos and I just keep them. So when I need a post, there's some thought behind them to make them look kind of pretty. So hopefully that answers your question, what you wanted me to talk about.
Yes, it does. I wanted to note that on Instagram, people tend to be there. It tends to be a little bit more visual. Like people will go to your feed and they'll just see like the whatever that feed like that. And if it's kind of random and messy, they may not stop. But when it's really visual, like and pretty, like, you know, that, I mean, I don't know that that's not absolutely necessary. But if you're one of those people who is more like a design person, that might be fun for you. It's not my thing, and I don't consume Instagram that way myself, so it doesn't bother me. I look at all these people interesting. So think about how you consume. But like Katie knows that it attracts her, so if it attracts her, then she's trying to attract people like her. Then why, you know, that makes sense. But like for me, I don't think about it much when I go to someone's page and see that. So I just consume it differently. So, you know, that's why I was saying before, think of how you consume these platforms to think about what you're going to post. I remember thinking like when I was really afraid to post on social media in the beginning, like who cares if I post a selfie of me and talk about something happy that day? Like that is so self-absorbed. That is so like, who cares? Like people will think I'm about myself. Like no one wants to see that. Like, but then then I would sit there and scroll Facebook and stop the scroll when I would see someone smiling and hear what they had to say and you know, taking that positivity and go by my day. I'm like, oh my gosh, like think about how you consume and stop and get out of your head. Get out of your head about all these things. Value is positivity. People want to go on social media and feel good. And so like some of these things that you think are, who cares? Like, let's scroll. I want to share some examples of some of these things. I was looking at Jen Richardson's because she's really like, she does Instagram. Like that's almost all she does. And she signs up lots of customers and coaches. But see, I'm not good like this. I can't do this. It's just not, I'm not design savvy. You can look at mine and mine's not bad. It's just not really intentional. And I try to use the same filter to get colors. You know, it's not bad actually, but I can't think. See, it's not that cohesive. But you can look and see that she's got some different things going on. You can tell already if I'm someone that you might want to get to know a little bit more. But so you don't have to be like amazing design wise. I get all kinds of messages from people. So you really don't feel like, because I know I would look at Casey and be like, oh my gosh, I can't do that. But some of you guys are like that. So I was noticing, I want to share some examples of some ways people are doing this. So what I love about this is she doesn't talk about being a Beachbody coach. I know that she's a wife and a mom, and that she has MS, and that she's not super crazy fit food girl. She still loves her, and that's something to know if you're gonna jive with this girl, with Lindsay. Here's a great example.
Hey Megan, can you share your screen?
Oh, sorry, I thought I was still sharing. My bad. You let me talk. It was so long.
I thought I was the only one who couldn't see it.
Okay, so I'm sitting here looking at Lindsay's feed. So Lindsay McCluskey. What I like right here is I was noticing this. I see a lot of coaches do this, and I did it. Like I think I did it right away too when I was a new coach. Is they put their Beachbody coach in there. I'm not a fan personally. The flip side of that is like I need my friends to know so they're not ordering from someone else. Well, I personally would rather you provide so much value and inspiration on your fitness journey, and like, that they wouldn't think to join anybody else. I think I've shared this story before, but like I've had coaches say, well, I have all my friends are Beachbody coaches. Like, how all my friends, like, why would they follow me? Why would these people have been coaches for longer? I was like, because your goal isn't to be the best Beachbody coach. Your goal is to be the best version of you, to provide as much value from what your experiences are. And you're going to find the right people that way. And that's how you came to me. When you say you have 5 or 6 friends who are Beachbody coaches, like, you're on my team now. How'd that happen? It's because, like, for some reason, my vibe that I'm putting out, the value that I'm putting out is value. It's not just here, I'm doing this program and here's how you can buy it. Each day, my goal is, how can my current challenges or struggles or joys or like lessons get out to the world? Like, I want to think whatever I'm going through, others are going through too. So the more that I get that out, the more that people want in my world. So, I mean, that's one of my best tips is, whenever you feel like you don't have anything to share because you're struggling so much, speak from that place. Because if you're struggling with something, people they want to know that that someone can relate to their struggles. Let's see. Here's a great thing that still works on social media is asking a question to get responses, because likes and comments are always going to boost that post, get you more affinity, and Facebook wants to reward you with more eyeballs. So the more you can get people commenting, the better. So she's asking legit, like, yes or a question, this or that, A or B or whatever she's saying, right or left. So people love to give their opinion. And so look how many comments she has. It seems silly. What value is this providing? People want to give their opinions. That's the value it's providing. People just want to have a voice. People love this stuff. If you're a DIY person, I'm so not, but I'm impressed by people who are. So she's sharing, project. I saw another one of hers today that I wanted to note. You know who's doing really great social media, Katie, is your coach, and Ashley Schofield is so awesome lately. I've been noticing her really strong content. Of course, oops. That's not right, is it? There's no H in there, is there? No?
I don't think there's an H.
Yeah.
So SCO, SCO, FI.
Yeah, it's just, the internet works slower when I'm on Zoom, so.
Yeah, mine does too.
I've just called out the whole independent team Beachbody coach. See, I'm not a fan of it, but I love her. I love her posts lately.
Mm-hmm.
Really intentional. You can tell she's intentional about providing value, and reaching people with, gosh, it's slow. Come on. She's doing a lot of, so I want you to notice every time that she's done one of these posts, she has so much traction. And she has several. Here's a great one. I mean, it seems silly. What does it have to do with anything? She's asking someone's opinion, and it gets a lot of response. Lots of comments. There was one. So I love this. This used to seem so silly to me, but she has a message to share. And she took a great, smiley, happy photo of herself. That used to feel so awkward. Like, why do I want to put my face? People want to see. People want to connect face-to-face with you. I think this still works very well. But she has a message to share. And you feel like you're talking to her. You feel like that selfie, I think, is important. I know Molly and Chelsea are really leveraging those selfies really well. If you go on Molly's feed, just a bunch of cute selfies. But then she has a lot of great content because a smile makes you stop. you want to be around happy people. So you stop and you read what she has to say, and then you get to see if she's someone that you want to be around and you want to engage with. So anyway, I think I'm a fan of it. There was one more. Oh, I give up. It's just too slow with the internet. Yeah, so like Katie was saying, she has a couple people that she follows for inspiration that she loves. I don't want you to ever feel like you're comparing yourself or trying to measure up to anybody, but definitely find people that are inspirations to you on social media and see what they're doing, and people that you would connect with, people that you would jive with. And I would also caution you, for example, Janelle Summers was that girl for me. Janelle Summers, when I joined, was like, I felt like, okay, I feel like we could be friends. I feel like we're a lot alike. I feel like if she's successful as a coach, I could be successful as a coach. She just had a shyer personality. She's more reserved. And I would see what she was doing, and I would try to, like, I don't want to say mimic it, because you really shouldn't mimic someone who's like so far beyond you. I mean, she was a double superstar probably before I was, anything. Like, I was still a newer coach when she was like she's already like super duper successful. So like I can't emulate her, and you should be cautious about emulating people who are at that place, but they can definitely be an inspiration. And I've said this before, I would actually look as far as like, not mimicking, but like modeling those who were not too far ahead of me. They were ahead of me, but I could posture myself in that same place. But I couldn't, as a not even like an Emerald coach, like put up a fitness opportunity or a coach opportunity like image the way she did. It just wouldn't relate. It wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't be real.
Megan, I just used kind of like what you're saying. I just used this example when I was talking to my new coaches a few minutes.
No, she froze.
I was studying like Instagram stories to try to figure out how to use them. I noticed that some of the coaches some top coaches like Danielle Natoni and Tanya Barone, who I really like, and I was finding that they were talking so much on their Instagram stories that I was like, swipe. Like, I don't have time. It's like watching a TV show. I'm like, I don't have time to sit and watch TV all day. So like that would be something I would take. Like, okay, so I don't want to do too much talking in my stories, because if I can't even sit and listen to like this like superstar, even Shalene Johnson, who I think can get away with a lot, I can't watch her stories anymore because it's like 15 minutes of talking. So like that would be something I would take. So I'm not copying like what they're doing, like you're saying, but I'm using like some of like the sort of hands-on things to say, okay, that's not what I want to do. Or like I was telling you, like I was liking, like, sounds really weird, but like seeing somebody's full body shot instead of just a selfie. Like I could take that and not copying like their words, but sort of like the little things that they're doing or not doing.
Yes. So did you hear it? Like I like what you said. Like, you mentioned this at the retreat. You saw the full body shots. For some reason, like you when you're analyzing it, you saw like for some reason those images attracted you, and so you started to like use those. Do you guys know what I mean? Like when people like kind of lean down at the camera, it's really, I don't know, it makes you feel like it's intimate. I've noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I like to see like I was talking about this with my team too. Like in Instagram stories, I like to see more rather than less. So like I want to see like on stories, like if people are showing me like from their shoes to their head, like I like it better than just an up close of their face talking, or like even of their family. Like I like to see more. I want to see like where do they live and what are they, like I want to see more rather than less. So like I like the full body shot rather than just the head. So I'm trying to incorporate that into my stuff.
You're paying attention to what you enjoy, and you're putting
Mm-hmm.
and so, and I'll say this, and what you don't enjoy, because you don't enjoy the talking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the same.
Mm-hmm.
This is something I was consuming a lot of different coaches stuff to learn, and I was seeing a lot of beautiful stuff, like really just like so impressive. And I would admire it, and I would just think, man, I just can't do that. But I would continue to admire it and admire it and admire it, and just like, wow, how did that? I'm never gonna be successful, but whatever. Like, okay, cool. And then I realized, well, shoot, I don't want to mimic that, because if I feel inadequate, I don't want to make others feel inadequate. And so I intentionally try to not like be too glammy and perfect. Not that I could have tried, I don't know, but like there are coaches who are just that awesome with how they market themselves, and they attract a lot of people. They're so savvy and brilliant at getting people on board because they are just awesome. You know, you want to be in their world. You're like, she is just so polished and poised, and like, if I can just be anything like her, let me just join her. But those people don't do much, you know, and I collect some people like that who think that they look up to me so much. And I said this before, I don't want fans. So think about the feelings that you're having when you're consuming, and like, if you don't want to, like, I don't want people to feel like, and I know that I can't avoid that. Like right now I'm crushing a program and I'm getting like really lean, and, you know, and I'm living in a way most people never will. I know that I can't avoid some of that, like, wow, like she's just too this level. But I'm trying to be me enough that they can still see themselves in me, and that if they ever had the same kind of growth and opportunity, that they don't think I'm that far from where they're at. And that's ultimately what I want. I don't want people to think for me. And so I intentionally decided, oh, wow, if I'm feeling inadequate, I don't want others to feel that same way. And so let me figure out a way to be just a hot mess enough, or show my hot mess just enough that people feel, okay, she's totally okay. We're a lot more like, I want people to feel that way. So, okay, this is a lot of talking. I was hoping to have some questions, more specifics, but maybe you guys learned a lot. I don't know. I'll go ahead and say good night, but if these conversations kind of get your wheels spinning and you have other questions more specifically, I encourage you to share those in the event, and any coaches who have, anybody can chime in to answer questions. I want this to be, we're helping each other, not like I have all the answers, because that's not necessarily the case. So yeah, share those questions in the event. I hope this was valuable. And I'm going to go ahead and post in the event something to encourage some conversations in terms of takeaway. Maybe I'll do a little raffle to encourage that. Okay. All right. Have a great night. And next week, Lauren and Sarah are going to be talking to you about leveraging live video, a little more in depth in this topic. Okay. Have a great night.